Всім доброго дня. Поки люди приєднуються, я, по-перше, радий всіх чути, радий всіх бачити. Ми зараз проводимо вебінар стосовно того, як нам виходити, як українцям виходити на ринок Польщі. Вибачте, зараз тестую. Ми разом сьогодні з нашими гостями з Польщі, це Krzysztof і Grzegorz, будемо раді відповісти на ваші питання. Будь ласка, задавайте у всіх можливих формах, де вони є. В цілому, я думаю, що нам можна починати. Я буду модерувати сьогоднішню дискусію, панель, і фактично ми починаємо. Я ще раз хотів сказати, що буде англійська мова, але потім ви можете подивитись на в Ютубі, включити субтитри, буде українська мова, якщо необхідно. So let's start. I just wanted to introduce our guests. First guest is Krzysztof. He is a Polish lawyer who is specializing in establishing of all types of business entities in Poland. He works at all with the Ukrainian companies, entrepreneurs. He knows about the taxation, about the costs for everything, about everything that we need to know if you enter the foreign market like Poland. Second participant is Grzegorz. He is a Polish lawyer too, from Warsaw. He's specializing in the field of intellectual property law. He registered trademarks, copyrights, and everything connected to your individualization in Poland, in European Union. And he will also describe us a lot of interesting things, including grants, fundings, and other things connected to how to register the trademark in Poland or in European Union. So just to start with, I wanted to get very interesting information that 1 in 10 businesses in Poland starting from this year, new business, I mean individual entrepreneurs, 1 in 10 is Ukrainian. And also important that last year, Ukrainians registered for about 30,000 new businesses in Poland. So I think it's a very big amount. We know how to do business. We know how to provide a very good quality products and services. I would like to what I know when I was in Warsaw. Of course, I saw Piana Vishnya. Of course, I saw the Lviv croissants. And Nova Poshta is also they're opening new branches in Warsaw, in Poland, in Europe at all. And of course, a lot of cosmetologists, a lot of hairdressers, a lot of different products makers, producers are in Poland now. So we understand that it will be just developing. So we are here to help you, us, Ukrainians, to make the process of registering of the company in Poland like more smooth and convenient and predictable in terms of the costs and everything connected. So we will start with Krzysztof. Please, you have your own presentation. We'll be glad to hear you. And dear colleagues, if you have any questions, you just can use each tools in each messenger or in YouTube or in LinkedIn. You can we'll see these questions, or my team will help us. So we will answer your questions immediately. So please don't hesitate to do it. So please go ahead. Thank you, Krzysztof.
Hello. My name is Krzysztof Skrobański. I am a lawyer in Poland, a Polish business lawyer based in Gdańsk. It can't be much further from Ukrainian border than Gdańsk, apart from maybe Szczecin. But it doesn't bother me much because it turns out that a significant number of Ukrainians have entered our market and our local market as well, and have been asking questions about how to do business in Poland. How do we establish a company? How do we deal with the company? What taxes do we pay? Can we employ ourselves in the company? How does it work, basically? And this is something that I really enjoy helping with, because as a business lawyer, I like when my clients are successful in their businesses. And this means that I had to prepare myself for a number of questions and for a number of issues that arise with the fact that Ukraine is not yet a member of the European Union. But it turned out that the current status of legal affairs in Poland does not affect Ukrainians that negatively. And thus, I must say that I've been creating a number of companies for Ukrainians in the past, let's say, 3 to 5 years. I've been working with some companies that were using Ukrainian workforce, as well as, for example, with some Ukrainian NGOs that were trying to establish themselves in Poland as a, let's say, beacons for the community. Sadly, I do not speak Ukrainian, but I think that it's a problem that we can manage with. I am a legal advisor in Poland. My job title is radca prawny. It's equivalent to solicitor. I can appear in courts, but I tend to rather be involved in business matters, negotiations, mergers, acquisitions, and other commercial activities. But I still have this possibility. I've been studying in the University of Gdańsk. I spent some time at the University of Sheffield, and I spent some time at Universität Köln in Germany, studying German law as well. Currently, I'm a managing partner in Cognitor boutique law firm in Gdańsk. We are specializing in commercial and IP law. We are establishing companies. We are helping our companies to grow. We are trying to help our clients to navigate around the Polish legal system. And privately, I really love history of any kind. I can talk about it for hours. I love sailing. I am a sailing instructor. I love fantasy, and I read a lot. And I mean a lot. But getting back to business, I'd like to talk about types of business activity in Poland. Basically, we have three major, let's say, branches of having a company. I will try to respond to questions just after I get along with some part of material about this regular business entity, and I will get back to the questions. Okay. So the first type, the first two types, let's say, of business entities are the simplest ones: the sole trader or self-employment, where you only register yourself as a entrepreneuring party, as a person that does business. You can employ people, you can earn your own money, you need to be part of social security system. However, you have a lot of personal responsibility there. Every aspect of your economic activity would be traced back to you, and eventually the full responsibility would be on your physical person. And civil law partnership is something similar because it's a contract between two sole traders, not creating any other kind of partnership or any other kind of company. This is only two or more entrepreneurs working together as a partnership. Again, this is something that is not only quite simple to create, it's quite simple to hold, but it also brings some tax risks and brings some business risks closer to home because you do not have any legal entity to defend yourself again against possible creditors or in case something in the business goes bad. As per the questions, if the foreigner can be a director or owner of LLC in Poland without any additional permissions, it's not a problem. Basically, wherever you are from, you can be a director or owner of LLC in Poland. And minimal statute capital at this point is 5,000 zlotys, but we will get to that later in my presentation. And in terms of taxation of the company, it depends on the type of partnership or company, but basically most of the companies, especially capital-based companies, are taxed with company income tax, with the rate depending on the actual value of their turnover, either 15% or 19%. But the problem is that this is only the company being taxed, whilst the shareholders of the company or the owners of the company are then taxed again to a certain extent, either via 19% income tax or via their personal income tax, 32%, depending on the height of their income. It's something that I will cover later in my presentation. And as to how fast LLC could be ready to work after starting the registration, again, I would like to respond to that question later in a few minutes. But basically, it depends on the region and on the, let's say, moment and style of creation of the company. It's between 1 or 2 days up to 2 weeks, but it depends, and I will try to cover it in a second. As to second type of business activity in Poland, yes, I will try to use those words as well. These are the partnerships or spółki osobowe, meaning business entities where the personal factor is quite crucial in their activity. And we have this registered partnership where the shortcut is SJ, spółka jawna. We have professional partnership, spółka partnerska, limited partnership, spółka komandytowa, limited joint stock partnership, spółka komandytowo-akcyjna. And the main issue with partnerships is that they do not create a separate legal personality for the partnership. The partnerships can own objects, can employ people, can enter contracts, but they do not have separate legal personality. And all the partnerships are reliant on the people who are members of their not shareholders, but of their partners. So in registered partnership or in any other type of partnership, the partners are not to be formally employed under the labor law in the company. They are only able to perform their activities as the partners of the company. However, this also means that they are treated as entrepreneurs and that any of the profit that is being made by the partnership is directly diverted or directly divided between the partners or among the partners. And this results in quite a significant difference and positive, let's say, difference in tax-wise in Polish market, because For example, for registered partnership, professional partnership, or those limited partnerships, there is a possibility of being taxed only about 13% from the gross income that you are being given, which is a huge possibility and huge, let's say, profit for people that are able to use that. But mostly the partners of partnerships are taxed via the regular linear tax of 19%. About the responsibility of partners. Basically, in terms of regular partnership, the registered partnership, spółka jawna, is only a small improvement over the sole trader, meaning that in case the company goes bust, or there is a creditor asking for funds, or there is any other discrepancy, and the partnership is responsible in the same line as the partners. So this means that it only gives or adds another person to the pool of potential payers, let's say, or repayers. But it doesn't really give you the defense of another special legal entity between you and your creditor. In terms of professional partnership, it is only possible to enter such a partnership if you are running a number of listed professions, starting with lawyers, doctors, nurses, architects, and any other professions that are usually called wolne zawody, meaning, let's say, free trades. And this divides the possibility of changes, and this divides the possibility of answering or being responsible for someone else's professional mistakes from any partner. Meaning, if I have a partner and my partner screws up, there is a creditor asking him for damages, I am completely shielded from their professional responsibility. However, in case there is, for example, we haven't paid for electricity, then we as the company are all responsible for that. In limited partnership, we have a situation where there is at least one designated partner called komandytariusz, who is personally responsible for all the deeds of the company, whilst being also responsible for running day-to-day operations of the company, whilst the other partner, called komandytariusz, is not responsible for any actions of the company, but is only responsible for giving the company the funds. The story of limited partnership and spółka komandytowa is actually quite interesting historically wise. And limited joint stock partnership is a type of partnership where there is one komplementariusz being personally responsible for all the actions of the company, and there is an basically unlimited share-based partner, or there might be a number of share-based partners who are only responsible for shares that they have bought, and in situation where the company goes bust, they only lose the share capital that they included in the company. So this is an atypical, not a very typical type of company in Poland. It's not very common. And in the end, we have companies where I understand companies where that are business entities where the capital and the shares are the basis of let's say, power structure of the company. And we have limited liability company called in Polish spółka z o.o. The shortcut is SPZOO. Then we have simple joint stock company, prosta spółka akcyjna. And in the end, we have joint stock company, spółka akcyjna. They all have their own limits within the minimal statute capital, where the limited liability company has 5,000 zlotys starting capital. Simple joint stock company has 1 zloty simple company starting capital, and the SA has 100,000 zlotys joint stock capital as a minimal statutory basis of a capital. And in the three of those companies, the structure is quite similar, where we have shareholder, at least one or up to unlimited number of shareholders, who are bringing money or bringing funds to the company, but not necessarily represent or act in the company as members of their boards. And the companies, the three types of companies, might have their supervisory board, where supervisory board is designed to look around and see for the strategic interests of the company, but do not represent it, and control the management board. And all of them must have their management board or manager, one-person management board, who is responsible for acting for the company, who is responsible for entering any contracts on behalf of the company, and who might be, let's say, controlled or administered by either the shareholders meeting or the supervisory board, or by both. Whilst also in this PSA type company, we have a possibility to create something called the board of directors, where the directors are in some way both supervisory board and management board, where they appoint from their own group people who would represent the company and let's say deal with the company's day-to-day basis, whilst the others would only concentrate on some strategic matters. As to popularity, most of newly created companies in the past few years, and it usually is spółka z o.o. However, I see the rise of PSAs last 2 or 3 years, because it's quite a new creation. Mostly because this PSA company was invented, as let's say, or was introduced into the Polish legal system as a response to the need of having a startup kind of company, because limited liability company derives from German GmbH, so the invention from the late 19th century, and is in some cases, legally speaking, a bit difficult to handle. It's not very complicated, but it is. But it has some issues with, let's say, agile refunding or creating new shares. It's not very quick and fast company, not quick enough, let's say, for startup market. Whilst this PSA was created just to handle with those needs. And SA, or joint stock company, is a type of company where you deal with larger enterprises, larger amounts of money, and larger problems, let's say, and strategic problems. As to registration of all the types of business entities in Poland, we have this situation with business entity and by derivation civil partnership, something that is called CEIDG, Centralny Rejestr i Ewidencja Działalności Gospodarczej. It is free of charge. It can be done either at an office. In every city council, there should be an office established in order to deal with creation of new business entities. You can do it by post, meaning printing documents, signing them, and sending them via post, or electronically on the page business.gov.pl. However, if you are a foreigner, it might be a bit more difficult, because you would need a PESEL number first to deal with the electronic system that deals with this problem. What I need to tell you now is that one of the most popular and sadly successful frauds in Poland is that the fraudulent companies are skimming through the data of new companies being registered in CIDG, and they are asking for some funding, or they are asking for some made-up administration fee for creation of the company. This is something that is not in Poland legal. Creation of business entity via CIDG is completely free of charge, and no company could and no business and no government entity would outsource their business model or their payments to a business entity, and there is no administrative payment for creation of such company. This is something that is really, really important, and I need to say that because I've encountered a number of fraudulent companies trying to extort not very high amounts of money, but still from hundreds of people. As to business entity, you have full responsibility for the actions of risks of the business with no limitation, and it could also, let's say, be used against your spouse as well. So your husband or your wife could be held responsible for the debts of the business entity as well. However, it's quite popular in Polish market. I've seen people running huge companies on the basis of just business entity and sole entrepreneur. As to the partnership and companies, we have something that is called KRS, National Court Register, or Krajowy Rejestr Sądowy. This is an electronic system, statewide system of registration. Registration costs in order to register both partnership or company in Poland. And what is really important in here is that you can, as a foreigner, create any type of company in Poland. And this is basically a staple of European law as well. But there is a small issue that we have with creating the company, meaning in order to fulfill the obligation of yearly reports of the company, because the company and the partnership and any other type of business need, apart from sole entrepreneur, needs to provide financial report at the end of the fiscal year. The system to approve those company statements suddenly requires the members of the board or the partners of the company to have PESEL numbers, meaning Polish identification numbers, registered, which means that in order to fully use and risk-free use your right to create a company in Poland, you should also take under consideration the matter of PESEL number or creating a PESEL number. I also have some experience with that, and it's not as much of a problem as it used to be. As to company, I will get back to that, Stanislav. I'd like to finish this matter of the companies, because the companies are also registered in this KRS system. What I'd like you to know is that even though all the names of the companies suggest that there is no personal responsibility anywhere, the sad part is that in limited liability company, so in spółka z o.o., there is a possibility of personal liability or personal responsibility of the members of the management board only. So if you become a member of a management board of the company and the company goes bust, there is a chance that your private assets could be used in order to fulfill the creditors' obligations. So please remember that creating a legal entity in Poland, creating another legal person in Poland, does not clear you of your personal responsibility at all times. Of course, in case you create joint stock company or simple joint stock company, this is practically something that is very difficult to obtain practical and let's say physical responsibility for the actions of management board. But in limited liability company, it is quite common. Please remember that you can be both a shareholder and a member of the board in the company. However, Polish system of social security would not allow you to employ yourself in such a company, but would require you to pay the social security payments as well. This is something that is quite common and and could be quite problematic at some moments, where people create one person joint stock companies or one person limited liability companies, and it turns out that holding such a type of a business is a bit more difficult from the practical point of view than running regular sole trader on the basis of the CIDG registry. So in terms of getting temporary residence on the basis of company establishment, I think that just after creation of the company, it's possible but not granted. But providing you've been having some practice, let's say, or the company has been existing for some time already, it's much more probable. And I have been in several cases where those permanent residence permit was being granted as a result of having a center of economic activity in Poland, meaning having established a company and running a company for a certain amount of time. As to court registration, there is a number of possibilities in terms of registration of a company. You can either try to register it via electronic system called S24. It does not require any legal knowledge and is available for any citizen or any person with Polish, again with peso, sadly with peso. But it gives you a possibility to create a working articles of association of the company and registering it technically within 24 hours, but usually it takes about 3 days. And it has some good application if you need your company created fast, or if you do not want any special clauses included in such company. Whilst in another matter is via the system called PRS, Portal Rejestrów Sądowych, which allows you to include your own created articles of associations or statutes of the company. Especially that all three of the companies require their statutes or articles of association created via the civil law notary. So it requires another help from another entity to legally form this company. Civil law notary is a person that basically not necessarily creates the document, but reads the document and puts a stamp on it, in order to legalize this document as a special legal form. And in all the company creation, you need to get your name of the company, the registered seat of the company, meaning the place of doing business. scope of activity, there is a huge table of Polish classification of business activity, polska klasyfikacja działalności gospodarczej, which covers everything from creating spacecraft to selling fruit. And you need to find what you are planning to do, or how you or your business model within this PKD, and include it in your articles of association or in the electronic system, as well as some statements of residence of the officials, meaning that you do have some address that you would respond in Poland for any correspondence being transferred there. As well as provisions regarding share capital and profit distribution. All the current payments are similar no matter what is the type of partnership or company. In a second, we have 350 zlotys for registration in S24, and we have 600 zlotys in case you are registering via PRS. And you can add some additional costs, such as 17 zlotys for power of attorney, because you probably would not have the account in the either PRS or S24 system, and some payments for the notaries, depending on the amount of share capital, let's say about 500 to 1,000 zlotys per regular small company, either LLC or PSA. And some, sadly, last but not least, legal fees, let's say from 2,000 zlotys up to no limit, depending on what kind of legal service are you using and what deal with your lawyers do you have. In terms of Stanisław, again, the documents that should be notarized, it is the articles of association, the charter of the company, needs to be done in the form of notary act, meaning the whole document is being prepared by the notary. It has no blind spots. It has a special legal, let's say, form, and it's being signed by the shareholders as well as the notary, whilst other documents usually only need to be made in written form, and they are still scanned and put in the electronic PRS system. Katerina, if a company that is a resident of an EU country intends to start manufacturing its own products in Poland and hire people, again, if you are looking for something where that is a resident or is not a resident, that is a matter of question. But if you have an EU-based company, basically you could start employing people and manufacturing products without any further licenses, because the European market as a whole is there is a possibility to create and to employ people without establishing another company or a sister company here. But usually it is done anyways, because it's easier from taxation point of view to have a separate entity in each country that the group or the company is operating. And it usually starts with creation of the company in Poland. So either going to the notary or using this S24 system to establish a company, establish their management board. And after the company is being registered, meaning you get the notification that the company is up and running and is ready, you can go. You can make your business and you can earn money. Important thing that I'd like to tell is a matter of taxes and social securities. We have this KAS, Krajowa Administracja Skarbowa, tax offices, and ZUS, Social Security Fund, that are informed about registration of any business entity. Every business entity would have to pay their taxes and social security for any employees, and as well as for the partners of the partnerships and for the sole trader. Most of the companies in Poland are payers of the VAT, the value-added tax. There are some small exceptions, but 90% of the companies are on the basis of VAT, which is payable by the end user, let's say. So it's usually quite neutral from the turnover or from the profit part of doing business. The company is usually also issued something that is called REGON number, but REGON number is only for the statistics purposes, and it's being given by the General Statistics Authority in Poland. Again, what is quite important and what is something that I think everyone before creating a company in Poland should consider is getting either Polish e-signature, such as Szafir, for example, or getting PESEL and getting something that is called ePUAP, which is a simplified e-signature, and it allows you and allows anyone with ePUAP to interact with most of the Polish government sector entities, and for example allows you to file for tax declarations, or as I've said, to create a company or file for changes in such company. So e-signature or ePUAP is something that is really, really, really important. And technically, I would, when the clients come to me, I usually do it, let's say, in two prongs, where at one point we file for granting a PESEL, for example, for the member of the management board, and at the same time we are creating a company, and we are merging this with the situation where a person that wanted to create a company comes out with PESEL and with all the information and all the necessary tools to deal with the Polish legal system on their own. And in, let's say, half an hour, 35 minutes, I'm getting to the end. Again, I cannot stress enough about PESEL number. I would like to tell you that the clerks in Poland tend to be really helpful at this moment. You can ask for the information via email, you can telephone them, you can ask them anything at the desk. They might sound sometimes not very happy about that, but they will give you usually some much needed information. And what can I say? Really use your advisors. It is not something that is very easy to deal with another legal system on your own. I've seen it, and I try to help foreigners, not only from Ukraine, from Sweden, from Finland, from Norway, to deal with all those situations in Polish legal system, because every country has some, let's say, peculiarities, and something that is really, really easy for you or easy graspable for you is completely unheard of in Poland, even though we are neighbors and we should know about it at this time. Do not be afraid of lawyers. I'm smiling. Look at me. It's not something that you would like to miss in terms of having a good and trustful legal service whilst creating a company in Poland. Thank you very much. That's all from me. If there are any questions, I will be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Krzysztof, very much. Very interesting and helpful, by the way, very business-oriented, I would say. So I think colleagues got a lot of interesting information, and especially Stanislav and Katerina, thank you for your questions. You, by the way, may ask your additional questions during the second part of the webinar, and I think in the end, Krzysztof will just make
yes,
some.
I would gladly answer any questions. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to be a guest here.
Thank you, Krzysztof. So don't go. Please stay with us. Thank you. So Grzegorz, so your turn. Grzegorz, as I said, will explain us about the intellectual property, trademarks and grants and everything connected with that. So please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, I'm pleased to talk to you about the process of obtaining intellectual property rights in Poland, especially trademarks and designs. But I will also briefly touch on the topic of patents. You can obtain, first please let me introduce myself. I work for the AOMB in Warsaw, which is a medium-sized patent attorney company. Let me maybe show you a presentation which I have prepared for this meeting. We are a medium-sized company employing around 40 people, working in the offices in Warsaw, but also in Krakow and a few smaller cities in Poland. But most of our work is done through online filing systems, and we can arrange meetings also online. So we have, in Poland, we have, as I said, a few locations. About a quarter of our employees work with trademarks and designs. Most of our business is connected with obtaining patent rights. And our company is active on the market since 2009, so we have 15-year anniversary this year. We are also a member of the IPEX group of intellectual property rights consultants. This group involves patent and trademark attorneys from about 12 companies throughout Europe, and we can help you also with working with intellectual property in those mostly Western European countries which we can do through our network of partners gathered in the IPEX group. What can we do for you if you think about registering a trademark or design in Poland? So for trademark, we need to ask ourselves a few questions. If our trademark is unique, if it has distinctive capabilities. So if our trademarks are fanciful enough to be registrable. Of course, we can help you to decide or to advise you if you meet that criteria. And also we can check if identical or similar trademark is already registered in the jurisdiction we are interested in. The same concepts apply also to designs, but with design we have to be aware that when we want to register a design, it has to be new and has to have an individual character. So it is possible to register any design, but in case of any troubles, meaning somebody is copying our design and we would like to prevent it, we will have to prove that our design was new at the time of its registration. Before an application to the trademark office, we can help you with a trademark or design search. We can search available databases for any trademarks which are similar to yours, any for goods or services which are also identical and similar. And if there is a risk that you will run into trouble by infringing on others' trademarks, we can advise you to modify your trademarks in order to avoid such risks. So the search is not the compulsory step in obtaining a protection, but highly recommended. Once it is done, we can prepare an application to the relevant office. In Poland, we can obtain trademark protection by applying either to Polish Patent Office. In such case, the protection is valid only in Poland, or we can apply also to the European Office of Intellectual Property, and such registration will be valid in all 27 European Union countries. It is also possible to obtain registration either in Poland or European Union through the World Intellectual Property Organization based on Ukrainian application or Ukrainian registration. We submit applications for protections electronically, which means that the day we apply for the protection, we receive a confirmation from the office containing the application number and the date of application. It is also possible that we assist you with application for protection in other countries should you need protection outside of Poland or the European Union. And we will also keep an eye on all deadlines which appear in the proceedings. I will also talk a bit about the procedure. So I would like to separately touch on the application for a trademark in Poland and in the European Union, as the procedure are quite different. In Poland, there is a two-step registration process. In the first step, we have to file an application, pay the official fees for the application, and once we file an application, the office checks if all the fees have been paid and if the sign is capable of being a trademark. Once this is done, the office publishes the information about the application in its bulletin, and there is a 3-month period for oppositions. If any party opposes your application, there is a separate opposition procedure held in the office, and your trademark can be registered only after that procedure is finished and a decision is that the opposition was not well founded. But if we don't encounter an opposition, we receive a decision after those 3 months that the trademark is ready for registration. And once we pay the fees for registration and the first 10 years of protection, the certificate of protection is granted. As to the level of the fees, the official fee for application in one class is about 100 euros. And if we want to include more classes, the fee for each additional class is about 30 euros. That's 120 zlotys. So it depends on the foreign exchange rate. And as to the decision, after the decision is granted, we need to pay 125 euros for application in one class and 100 euros for application with additional classes. For each additional class, there is actually a fee of 100 euros. For obtaining protection in the European Union, the process is a bit simpler. You pay all the fees when obtaining when filing the application. You can and the fees are for an application in one class. There are 850 euros. For the second class, 50 euros, and for each additional class, 150 euros. And the fees include all the fees payable to European Union Trademark Office during the first 10 years of protection. And similarly as in Poland, the office first checks if the applicable fee have been paid, then checks if the trademark is capable of of being protected, then publishes the information about the information about the trademark application in its bulletin, and after 3 months, when no opposition is filed, the trademark is registered and certificate of registration is issued. As to the timeline of the procedure, for Polish application, it takes about 5 months from the application up to the decision of granting the protection. After that decision, you have 3 months to pay the fees for protection, and only after those fees are paid, the certificate is being issued, which means the full procedure can last from 6 to 10 months. In the European Union, similarly, it takes about 5 months to register a trademark. There is a possibility to file an application in a fast-track procedure, which cuts about 1 month from the full procedure. It takes 4.5 or 4 months to register a trademark. When applying with fast track, there are no additional fees for filing with fast track, but there are additional requirements, which are the fees for the application have to be paid in advance, and for goods and services in the application, you have to choose from the list of predefined terms. You cannot make your own list from terms which are not yet approved by the office. As to registration of the industrial design, the procedure in Poland is quite similar as in trademarks. The office doesn't interfere or check if the design is new. If it finds that it is capable of being a registered design, it issues the decision, and after a payment of official fees, certificate of protection is being issued. And with the European Union, the protection can be granted even the same day when the application is filed, if the office finds that there is a consistency, if in the drawings or photographs of the design you have provided in the application, it registers the design the same or the next day after you file it. For the fees applicable with the registration, there is in Poland there is about 75 euros per design at the time of the application, and about 65 euros after a decision is made. In the European Union, the fee is 350 euros for the first design. You can file up to 100 designs per applications, but the fees for the designs from the 2nd to 10th are 175 euros, and for each design after the 10th, so from the 11 on, the fees are 80 euros per design. In the European Union, we can also request a deferment of publication. Such deferment is granted for up to 30 months. There are additional fees for that, and those fees range from 40 to 10 euros per design. And this is useful when you have a design already designed and you would like to protect it, but not yet introduced it in the market. So you have the quality of having a filed designed application, but nobody can know what the application contains, so there is no risk that somebody copies you by looking into the design register. I would like also to tell you that for a few years, there is a possibility to obtain refunds of the official fees, of part of the official fees paid for the intellectual property rights. Those refunds are handled by the European Union Intellectual Property Office, and since last year, these refunds are applicable also to Ukrainian entities. And for this year, any small or medium enterprise can obtain up to 1,000 euros refund for registration of a trademark or design, 300 and 500 euros for obtaining patent rights, 1,500 euros for obtaining rights to the plant variety registration. And we can also assist you with obtaining decision on the refunds. It is important to know that the procedure requires that you first apply for the refund, have grant decision. It takes about 2 weeks from the application to obtain a grant decision. Then you can file a request for your trademark or design or patent. There are 3 simple documents which are required to obtain refund of the fees, of the official fees paid for obtaining the protection. It can be registration document of the company, the tax identification document of the company, and also a statement or agreement with bank on the bank account of the company. Once we receive those documents and power of attorney from you to act on your behalf, we file an application for grant, and it is usually granted within 2 weeks. Once we obtain the grant, we can apply for protection. And when the fees for protection are paid to we can obtain up to 75% of the fees back with the maximum of 1,000 euros for trademarks or designs. And we will guide you throughout this procedure. So, as you can see, the procedure of obtaining rights, trademark or design rights in Poland or the European Union is not very complicated. You can obtain our advice at any stage of the procedure, and usually it takes no more than 6 months to obtain the protection. So that would be all from me about the procedure of obtaining intellectual property rights in Poland. And of course, I'm open to your questions and anytime.
Thank you, Grzegorz. We had not a proper internet connection, and I missed around 5 minutes. So the question is, did you cover the matter of compensation of refunds for trademark and design filing for Ukrainians?
Yes, in a last few minutes I covered that, but I can also repeat that it is quite easy to obtain a refund for small and medium enterprises. You can obtain up to 1,000 euros per each applicant. The application for grant has to be filed before the application for trademark or design, and you will have to receive the decision before the application. It takes about 2 weeks to obtain a decision, and there are only 3 documents which are required to apply for a grant. One is the tax identification number on the official document. The second will be the bank account number of the company and the document which shows that account. And the third, if you would like to obtain the refund with our help, we will need a written power of attorney.
Thank you, Grzegorz. Just for our understanding, of course, we know the situation, but we have some time. In Ukraine, for example, you can file the application in the name of a natural person. And usually, when you want to make the application in European Union, you also can, in fact, base your EU application based on Ukrainian application that you filed in the name of natural person, not the business, not the legal entity, just a natural person. So does the European Union provide the refund in such a case, or just it must be some business with some activity and with documents that confirming such activity?
Unfortunately, there are no refunds for natural persons. But if a natural person runs a business as a sole proprietorship and has the tax identification number, it is possible to obtain a refund applying as a small company, as an individual running a business.
Okay. Thank you very much, Grzegorz. If somebody have any questions, you must, by the way, write to us, or just want to update you that we have a Telegram channel, IP Hub. You have a link here. You can join there. And by the way, we have 2 questions from this Telegram channel. It's about intellectual property. We have more than 100 colleagues. They are interested in IP. Thank you for your activity. And we have a question, and 2 questions, and we expect that it's in the field of competence of Krzysztof.
Okay, the questions that were given to me are the first is how to deal with the issue of healthcare when the company is based in Poland and the employees are based in other EU countries. How to properly formalize it. This is something that European Union has been working around this issue for the past, let's say, 10 years since I've been in the business. And at this point, the formal solution to this question is, what is the employee's country of residence or country of employment? This means that if you have a Polish company hiring people on the basis of Polish law, this means that they should be in Poland for at least 183 days within a year, and should be delegated to other European Union countries on the basis of a so-called A1 document. In Polish, it's in a slang called A1, which basically informs the other country, or informs Polish security system and healthcare system that this person that is legally employed is currently in another country. And the delegation of this person to another country on the basis of A1 also causes this person to be properly insured, to have proper health insurance in another country on the basis of Polish national healthcare system, which also issues a card called EKUS, which is a proof of health security in Poland. And basically, it is quite common for Polish companies. I've been working with a number of Polish companies that basically sent employees around the European Union. In my case, it was usually Scandinavian countries and some shipping industry. So these were shipbuilders, ship painters, some mechanical engineers, some ship designers that were being sent around the companies in Europe in order to fulfill the contractual obligations of Polish company. And it was always on the basis of this A1 document with complementary EKUS card that proves that this person is in fact employed and in fact subject to Polish healthcare system. To be honest, if the workers are not from European Union, this might cause a bit of a trouble, because in some cases, for example, people that are that have some difficulties within that do not have, for example, Schengen visa, they might have some problems with being transferred around European Union. But in other cases, it's usually the same as in Polish citizens. However, if the question was about how to deal with the situation where you have worker that is always in the same place. For example, you have a Polish company and a worker that is always in France. Then we have a situation where we either employ him on the basis of Polish law, paying Polish taxes and Polish healthcare. But if this worker exceeds 183 days in France during the year, they are obliged to pay French taxes and or French insurance. So it's not as simple, and it's usually decided on a case-by-case basis what is more, let's say, profitable and what is more correct for each company. And the second question was with labor safety issues. And labor safety issues are a thing that is also widely disputed around the European Union in a number of branches, where if you have employees that have other than European Union citizenship or not Polish citizenship, they still are subject to health and safety regulations in Poland. And you still need to provide them with anything that is connected with health and safety, just as for Polish workers. And if you are transferring them to other European Union country, or if they are rendering services there, or if they are working there, they should be under the local labor safety provisions. For example, if you need to have a certain eye protection, for example, in Poland, and you need to have another or different eye protection in Germany or in Netherlands, then if you send people to Netherlands, they need to have the Dutch eye protection. And if you do not provide it for them, the local authorities could control you and could fine you for lack of health and safety regulations. So these were those two questions. I am happy to answer any other questions that could arise. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Krzysztof. Just for your understanding, we will share if your colleagues are not against, I will share the presentation of our guests, and I think you will have the contact details of them. You will have the contact details of them, and they will be happy to answer the questions, and directly or through us, it's not a problem. You can contact them, and I think they will share their experience and information about the question that you have. Mm-hmm. So I think it's time now to finish. Thank you, dear participants, for participation and for active participation, and a lot of questions. I think interesting and up to date and business oriented and anything. I think Ukraine is on the way to the European Union, and we already have a lot of desires, and our entrepreneurs a lot of desires and products, services that they want to sell abroad. Of course, this cooperation between our countries and will just increase, and I think we'll have after the war, of course, we'll have much more closer cooperation. I think it will be 100%. Thank you, dear colleagues.
Hope so. Surely hope so, especially for the quick end of the war. It's terrible what's happening. It's just...
Yeah. Thank you, dear colleagues. Thank you for your participation. Once again, please join our channel. You will have the link to the YouTube, our YouTube channel with this recording of this webinar. So we'll send you also the information regarding the presentation, so you can contact our guests and directly without any problems. Thank you, and have a nice Thursday. Have a nice evening, and bye-bye.
Thank you very much. It was a great opportunity to speak to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you also from my side.